questions and comments.
See?
I'm just going to
There's two of us here.
tell you briefly what brought everybody here today. We talked to you about what Organized for America is and about how it started, and also the declarations that we're going to present to Pete and Bruce Braley. So, Organizing for America is a grassroots effort that grew out of President Obama's historic 2008 campaign. OFA is building support for President Obama's policy by empowering the people to bring about change in their own communities and make their voices heard in Washington, D.C. OFA believes debates about the important issues facing this country, like health insurance reform, energy, and education, should not happen solely on cable TV among Washington, D.C.'s politicians and pundits. These conversations, just like he said, should take place in the doorsteps, the porches, across dinner tables, and neighborhoods around the country. Exactly what we're doing right now. Their efforts since June, Organizing for America has collected more than 1 million declarations in support of President Obama's principles for reform. 16,000 in Iowa, and over 2,000 here in the 1st District, and that's just because volunteers, that's as many people as that could be contacted, but we all know there's thousands more out there. So at this time, Pete, on behalf of Organizing for America, I'd like to present you with these more than 2,000 testimonials and support of Bruce Braley and of the healthcare reform. And just so I think everybody here has done that. President Obama's core principles: reduce costs, guarantee choice, and ensure quality care for all. It says every president since Harry Truman has tried to pass health reform, and now we're closer than ever. Since June 6th, Organizing for America volunteers in your district have been working to build grassroots support for health insurance reform. The people listed below are your constituents. Each one signed a declaration in support of President Obama's 3 principles of reform. Right now, our system works better for insurance companies than it does for regular people. We support reform that ends unfair insurance industry practices and gives all Americans more security and stability. We're counting on you. Please vote to pass health insurance reform this year. Kind of sincerely, your constituents. There's 3 on each sheet, and you can see this is an amazing amount of signatures here. So we'd like to present that to Pete and Bruce Braley. A lot of hard work right there.
There's a lot of hard work there. I've been a long time organizer myself, so I know the amount of work this takes to get these types of numbers. It's a fantastic opportunity for the organization.
And obviously, for everybody that knows, there's tens of thousands of people in 50 states who participated in the same thing we're doing now. So, including health forum roundtables, service activities, door-to-door canvasses, letter writing, campaigns, phone banks, and press conferences. OFA volunteers in the states are as energized as they've ever been. We're continuing to build our organization of volunteers, and we are becoming more engaged every day. So as we move forward, our OFA will be forever present during the months upcoming, especially in September when things get back, the fight continues. We can continue to contact constituents in all, Bruce Braley's district and all across Iowa and all across the country. The door-to-door canvases, the phone banks, for the declarations, they'll continue, and personal health care stories are going to continue. Obviously, the fight's just started, really. Even though it seemed like it was going on forever, and now it's hand-to-hand combat time. We all know that. So we want to continue building our volunteer base across the country, and I know that there's some things that we're going to ask everybody here to participate in before you leave. So if anybody has to leave early, please take one of these with you. It's Congressional Call-a-thon, and Congress will be reconvening in a few short days, and they need to hear from all of us. As we saw during the recess, our congressmen are listening. Let's make sure our resounding voice of support is fresh in their minds as they prepare to take action on health insurance reform. Calling your congressman is easy and effective. Use our guidelines below to help. Be sure to call all 3 days and report the results after the calls. And listed is Congressman Braley, Senator Grassley, and Senator Harkin, their numbers, their telephone numbers, the days they'd like you to call, once a day, starting tomorrow. Obviously, as OFA is, respectful, professional, and just sincere Americans telling their stories and telling them why you support healthcare reform and you want them to support you. And it gives you some calling tips. Obviously, be polite, respectful, and clear. And like I know all you are, we all done it already.
The Braley staff will be likewise.
And there's a little calling script there. It's a very easy way to, and I would advise making as many copies as you possibly can. Out of, I know it's out of your own pocket. Give it to your friends. Give it to people at work. Give it to people you think are non-supporters. Maybe in public, to people's faces. They're scared to say their opinion, and they kind of go with the flow of what's going on in a group. And when they go home, and in the back of their mind, they know what's right for their country and what's right for their family. So they might go home and do the same. So don't be shy to give it to somebody you think is a non-supporter. So that's the one thing that we're asking today for people to take part in.
I think this is really important because Grassley sent out a fundraising letter that said his goal is to defeat Obamacare, whatever that is. So
He did send a letter.
that's his fundraising letter to defeat Obamacare. So
We also
he's,
have, I thought you said-
he's raising money on the from his ilk and getting support on that premise, and so I think we need to let him know that we don't agree with that and be respectful, but
Maybe he'll